One other nice thing about the SI system is that we have an easy way to express things in terms of scientific notation. We use prefixes in front of our units to when they're very large or very small. These are these are all powers of 10. And you're familiar with these, you've used these. But let's just review them and make sure that we're all on the same page as to what all of these prefixes are that we can use. So normally I would do this as an exercise in class, and maybe we will do this once we actually meet in class. But I'd like you to pause the video, and for all these powers of 10 that we have here, so 10 to the third, 10 to the sixth, 10 to the ninth, 10 to the 12th, 10 to the 15th, and then the negative versions of those, see if you can remember what the prefixes are for these. So 1,000, million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, and then the thousandth, millionth, etc., etc. Okay, so hopefully you did pause the video and think about how many of these do you know off the top of your head. There's some bonus ones down at the bottom. So we have 10 to the first, 10 to the second, 10 to the minus first, 10 to the minus second. These ones, some of these you're familiar with, probably some of these we don't use a whole lot. But let me just go ahead and show the different units that we have. So in general, for the ones that are positive exponents, 10 to the 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, generally these are uppercase with the exception of kilo. So kilo is 10 to the third, 1,000. Mega is 10 to the 6th. Giga is 10 to the ninth. Tera is 10 to the 12th. Peta is 10 to the 15th. So you're probably familiar with these both from chemistry and from computers, because these are also used when describing amounts of bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, etc., etc. The negative exponents, these are all lowercase letters. So we have milli, micro, nano, pico, and femto. So we'll see pretty much all of these prefixes at some point in this class. Maybe not tera and peta; those don't show up very often. But pretty much everything else you'll see in the course of doing science. All right, so our bonus ones down at the bottom, we have 10 and 100, a tenth and a hundredth, and then we have as you keep going beyond femto to the small and peta to the large, we have deca, da for 10 of something. That one's very rarely used. It's usually just easier to add a 0 to whatever number you're looking at. Hecto for 10 to the 2, also very rarely used. The only one I sometimes see it with is hectopascals. But I don't particularly like that unit, so I don't use a whole lot. Ones you may have seen sometimes are deci and centi, right? Centimeter for sure, I think everyone is familiar with. Decimeter shows up every once in a while, mostly because a liter is a cubic decimeter. Then we have the really big and really small numbers, 10 to the 18th, 10 to the minus 18th. We have exa and atto, right? So exabytes, maybe you've heard that before. That's pretty much the only time I've ever heard that. And then atto, 10 to the minus 18th. So attomoles, attoseconds sometimes show up. So this system of prefixes can make it very, very handy to write down units and make it easier to do unit conversions, which we'll review in the next video.